What's going on, traders? We got a lot to talk about in this video, so let's get straight into it. You're not going to want to miss this. So, today was pretty interesting. We saw the triple Qs go crazy, we saw the SPY go up, we saw Nvidia go up, but we really didn't see anything else really benefit off this move to the upside. So, what's happening? What can we really expect heading into tomorrow? So, I think it's pretty clear. It's safe to assume that we're obviously waiting on news. The market is waiting on news. In case you don't know, in regards to to tomorrow, we have FOMC minutes, and then we have a bunch of Fed members speaking tomorrow. So it's going to be probably a really crazy day. And so we go back to the charts and we go back to the TA. We're looking at the VIX daily time frame. As you guys can see here, we rejected this trend here, we rejected here, we did this whole roller coaster ride, we rejected here, and then very interesting on how we closed the day out. We have a dark cloud cover pattern, which is a bearish pattern. And in case you don't know what that looks like, here it is. All right. Clear as day, dark cloud cover pattern. So this is a good sign for bulls that we could see some upside, right? Well, I want you guys to start adding things up as we go, okay? I want you guys to start adding everything I say up, and then everything's going to come to some type of conclusion here. At least I hope so, okay? So, again, we have this dark cloud cover on the VIX. We go down to the 4 hour time frame, and we have this gap that needs to be filled at around 19.25, 19.5, give or take, right? And then we're a bit overbought on the VIX, right? So something to keep in mind here. And what's really interesting to happen in the Discord is the AI bot alerted that a whale has taken an order on the VIX, a 25 strike call on the VIX for November 20th, which is actually bearish for the market. If you don't know, the VIX moves inverse of the market. But he did a buy call for the VIX, 60% AI confidence, 300K premium, um, then volume, OI, open interest, all that fun stuff. But it's very rare where I see a VIX play come into the AI bot, and they're very rare. Okay, when the bot alerts VIX calls, you take it seriously. And so my question is, once we fill this gap, what happens? All right. Once we fill this gap on the VIX, what happens? All right. So again, we're going to add everything up here. So we go to NQ. So we go to NQ, and we let's actually start with the daily time frame so you guys can get some type of view here, or a decent view here. So as you guys can see, we're pretty much at this trend. We're not at it, but we're pretty close to it. But right here, we rejected here, we rejected here. I don't know if you guys can see this wick, but there's a wick here rejecting from this trend. And then we pretty much closed the day with a bullish engulfing candle. That's a great sign for bulls that we could see more upside. But in regards to upside, unless we're going to absolutely demolish this trend and break out, we're very limited here. Okay. And right now, we could be looking at a move towards 20,500, 20,400, give or take, where we see one of these moves, we hit one of these, and then we possibly sell off. And again, remember what I said about the VIX. Think about where the VIX is. What happens when we fill the gap on the VIX? If we have limited space to the upside on NQ, what will happen if this happens? Not only does this move happen, but the VIX fills this gap. And so we go down to the 4 hour time frame so you guys can get somewhat of a better idea on how much space we have here. Again, just a limited amount of space in regards to the upside. And again, there is very possible that we break out of here. But judging by history, we have to assume, I wouldn't even say assume, but we just have to pretty much consider or keep in mind that there's a possible rejection that could happen right here because we rejected here before and we rejected right here as well. And so we go down to the 2 hour time frame, right? And what's interesting about the 2 hour time frame is that we're very overbought. I mean, you guys see it right here, right? We're very, very overbought. Okay, so something to keep in mind. We go down to the ES and we go to the daily time frame on the ES, right? ES. Now, I mean, this is insane. Just how much we've been consolidating. We've been consolidating for weeks now. I mean, we haven't gone anywhere. This is a very, very annoying market right now. Okay. So I just want to point this out. All right. So we go down to the 4 hour time frame here. As you guys see, we're at this 4 hour supply and demand zone on the ES. Not only that, but we're at this trend where we rejected here, we rejected here, we rejected here as well, and now we're back at this area here all over again. We go down to the 2 hour time frame and we're overbought. Okay, so again, what happens if the VIX fills that gap? All right. So I just want you guys to keep up with me here. Just really keep up with me here. It's going to get interesting. We go to the daily time frame on the triple Q. Sorry. So we go to the daily time frame on the triple Qs. We zoom out. We zoom out, we zoom out. Here we go. Okay. So we zoom out and we bring it back our channel. We talked about this when I was originally bearish on the market right before this whole move happened. And we were essentially calling the top right here, right? Let's actually get rid of this so you guys can get a better idea. But we rejected here. We rejected this area like a billion times right here. We rejected here. We rejected here. We broke out here. Bulls got trapped. We gapped down and then the market got destroyed and then we did it all over again. So we rejected here. We rejected here. Now we're back at this area all over again, right? We're back here all over again. So my thing is, and I want you guys to keep this in mind, right? What happens once we get here? Because I said in the Discord that I do think the triple Qs is going to head towards 493. This is around when triple Qs was like at 486, and we're pretty much close to that target. Okay, and so what happens if we do hit 493 and the VIX is filling its gap? And you kind of want to see these things happen simultaneously. All right, you want to see the VIX fill that gap that we were just talking about, and then you want to see the triple Qs pretty much hit these areas and the ES hit these areas as well. Right, so we go down to the 4 hour time frame. We go down to the 4 hour time frame just to give you guys an idea on just how limited of space we have, right? But not only that, but we're pretty much at resistance right now. Okay, so let's actually mark that out so you guys know I'm not making this stuff up. Well, we're at resistance on the 4 hour. We rejected here, we rejected here, right? We go back and then we broke out of here actually, and then we bounced, and then we tried to break higher. We made a lower high, and then we broke down, and then we rejected here. So very significant resistance level right now, right? And so we go down to the 2 hour time frame, and behold, we're overbought on the 2 hour time frame on the triple Qs. Now, I wouldn't take the 2 hour time frame too seriously in regards to being overbought. If it was like the 4 hour and daily time frame, then sure, right? Maybe we just see some consolidation in the morning and pretty much, just to take the foot off the gas and reset this whole indicator or reset everyone's RSI. But regardless, right now, it's important to note that we are at resistance, right? And that we are oversold on the 2 hour time frame. So something to really pay attention to. And so again, if we are if we are going to break out, right? Let's actually get rid of this so you guys can get a much better idea on where I'm going with this. If we break out, are we looking at another scenario like this, right? Think about it. Really, really think about it. Try to. I know it's tough. Yeah, you're not in my head, right? But if the VIX goes down to that gap field, that means that would mean the market is going to go up, right? So if the VIX goes down and the market goes up, let's give an example here, and let's say we break out, right? Let's say we break out, everybody's excited, the market's going up, the VIX is heading towards that gap field, and boom, the feels that gap field. What happens after that? I can't say for sure, but what if this move happens again? Right? We hit this trend, right? I showed you guys the significance of this trend line right here, right? We rejected here, all that fun stuff. We rejected like multiple times here, right? We possibly hit this trend line at around 496, 495, give or take. The VIX fills this gap, does one of these moves, boom. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen, but I want you guys, the most important thing to pay attention to here is what the VIX is going to do after it fills that gap. All right. Because again, this right here, this VIX call that some whale did is scary. Okay. This is a scary move. A 25 strike. If the VIX fills that gap at 19, going to 25, going to that 25 target is very, very significant. That's a very huge move for the VIX and a very bearish move for the market, right? And so we go to the SPY. We go to the SPY, we look at the daily time frame, right? And again, I even have it marked out here. What if we're looking at this same exact scenario? Okay. Where, because again, we're very limited on upside. And what do I tell you guys all the time? When we drop in the market, it's only to create more upside. Okay. We are not creating more upside because we're barely dropping. that move yesterday was not significant enough to create more upside. We need a much bigger move in order to hit that 510 target on the triple Qs, right? And so again, on the spot, we rejected here, we rejected a billion times here, we rejected here, all that fun stuff. And so if we are, okay, if the VIX breaks down, right? And let's say the SPY goes higher and higher towards about, you guys know my target in regards to the SPY, 580. If the SPY does head to 580, okay, if it heads to 580, right? I'm trying to map it out, sorry. So 580, it really looks like we only have room to 575 right here. So back to what I was saying, when we drop in the market, we're creating more room to the upside. Okay, we don't have the upside for 580 right now. And of course, we can just break out of here. But if we do that move, what if we do that, right? If we just break out of here, no problem, just skyrocket out of this area, and we head towards 580, just ignoring this. What if we're looking at the same thing we just did here? I don't know. Okay, I just want you guys to consider that possible outcome, right? And so we look at Nvidia. And so Nvidia is just going crazy. Okay, this thing is going absolutely ballistic. Okay, so we look at the daily time frame. Um, and I think Nvidia can see 140. I do, right? And we look at this daily time frame. We rejected here. We rejected here. We rejected here, and it looks like we're trying to head back there. We're probably going to see some type of dip before that possible move, because again, we're very limited right now. We go to the 4 hour time frame, so you guys know I'm not like forcing anything. You rejected here, you rejected here, and now you're back at this trend here. We go down to the 2 hour time frame. As you guys can see, we're pretty overbought. We're kind of cooling off, but still, it's very limited upside right now. Okay, and then on the hourly we have bearish divergence, whatever. But still, things just are really really weird right now. And so we go to the semiconductor ETFs, right? We go to the daily time frame here. And even here, and remember, I told you guys, there is a fair value gap on SMH all the way at the fives. I mean, not five. Where did I get five? 260s. Okay. Around the 260s is a fair value gap. But look right here on the daily time frame. Rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. You're heading back to this trend line all over again. I I mean, do the math. Really, really think about it, okay? And so if we do break out of here, because that's very much possible, right? We have a low here, higher low here, another higher low here. If we do break out of here, right? And in order for us to break out of here, obviously Nvidia will need to see 140, which I do think is going to happen. We break out of here, we start heading towards this gap all the way to about 270. That probably will make Nvidia much higher than 140. We'll see. But regardless, we hit this gap here, we hit this trend line here, and keep in mind, the head and shoulders pattern is still in play in regards to SMH, right? Still in play. But if we do break out of this area, then it most likely will be out of play. Okay, if we do this move, which I really think is going to happen or potentially happen heading into the rest of this week. And so we look at SOXX. Same thing. Well, not the same thing. Actually, SOXX is showing a different sign here. But as you guys can see, we're looking at this daily supply and demand zone, the symmetrical triangle. You rejected here, you rejected here. You did this little crazy move right here, but you ended up rejecting the supply and demand zone here, and now you're back here all over again. You go down to the 4 hour time frame, and you're seeing a much better view on how things look. And then you go down to the 2 hour time frame. Okay, you're overbought. So very, very interesting market. So here's where I'm thinking things are going to go. I think one thing I want you guys to keep in mind, okay? I want you guys to remember this. The initial move heading into FOMC meetings, whether it's Jerome Powell speaking, FOMC minutes, whatever the case may be, the initial move is usually the wrong move, right? So let me give you guys an example. Let me show you guys a nice example. If tomorrow we break out, right, we go crazy, okay, we go absolutely ballistic. I want you guys to pay attention to the VIX and what it does here. If we break out tomorrow, we just are bullish all the way into FOMC minutes, and we end up filling this gap on the VIX, I will be careful. Okay, I would be careful because there's a possibility that the VIX will do this. Again, I want you again because if we continue to go straight up from here in regards to the VIX, right, we don't have room left. So in order to, really create more room, right? In order to create room, I imagine we're going to break down, fill this gap, and really start heading towards that $25 target that this whale is expecting to happen, or even multiple whales are expecting to happen. Okay. So again, the initial move heading into FOMC meetings, and so far the initial move is bullish. If we're heading into tomorrow bullish, and we continue to go higher heading into this FOMC meeting, be very, very careful. Be very careful. That's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I'm saying. So that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Now, what happens if we just, sell off? Okay. Not even sell off, but well, yeah, if we sell off, I'm thinking about the VIX right now. What happens if we just sell off heading into tomorrow? Maybe we just, we just knock this move out right away, whatever the case may be. And maybe Thursday, CPI data comes out, whatever the case may be. And maybe we just continue to head higher. Then I think that would be better. I will honestly think that would be better if that does happen. We just pump in the VIX. I mean, the VIX pumps, the market sells off, and we leave this gap open. That would be great. Okay, that would be great because that means that we have a bigger move to the upside coming, a much bigger move to the upside coming. But if we just so happen to be bullish heading into tomorrow, and I mean be extremely bullish heading into tomorrow, and we start filling this gap first before the FOMC meeting, I would be very cautious. So this is the move I wouldn't so much like. I would prefer this move first, right? I would prefer this move right here where the VIX goes up because remember, this is the VIX and the market moves inverse of the VIX, right? The VIX goes up, the market just plummets to the pits of hell, and then we do this. That would be awesome. Okay, that would be beautiful. The VIX, and keep in mind, the VIX doesn't really have to respect this level. It can do this whole volatility thing and just break out of here and then, break back in. Right. So this would be the ideal move, in my opinion, where we, break out on the VIX, go crazy on the VIX, the market tanks like badly, right? And then we calm down, everybody calms down, whatever news that comes out, and then boom. The VIX starts heading towards this gap fill. The market is extremely bullish. We head towards those all-time high targets. Simple as that. So that's what I really want to get across to you guys. I mean, we can look at Apple real quick. I don't have much for Apple. It still looks bearish, absolutely bearish to me. I just really don't have much for it right now. So in regards to Apple, I will watch for 227. As long as it stays above below 227, I think Apple's going to continue to head lower towards 217 at this point, and obviously that will probably help drag the market down. We'll see. But that's all I have. Hopefully, this all made sense to you guys. I know it was a lot to kind of take in. I'm not exactly extremely bullish right now. It's obviously possible, but I'm not extremely bullish right now. Things are looking great. I still have my targets for the triple Qs. Like I said in the Discord, I think it's going to head towards 493. I may be a little bit off, but I set that target since like 486, and so far it's been pumping ever since. So hopefully this all made sense. Hopefully it's adding up. And if it isn't, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something confusing. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below as well. But right now, I will say pay attention to what happens tomorrow morning. I think that's a no-brainer. But pay attention to if we're bullish, right? If we're bullish, if we start off bullish tomorrow morning, pay attention to the VIX. If we're bearish tomorrow morning, pay attention to VIX all over again and just really pay attention to that gap. That gap is going to give you the answers to everything you need to know in regards to the rest of the week. And if you want access to our AI bot, our trade alerts in the Discord, I mean, this thing, everybody is loving this thing. They're really loving the bots in the Discord. I mean, you have a Google call for 175, 167.5, October 11th. So that's this week. 380K premium, 67% confidence. You have this QUEB, which is the Chinese sector ETF, 40 call. We took profit on a play similar to this in regards to QUEB. You have the yen. You have a this thing is golden. Okay, so if you want access to my plays as well as the Discord bot plays and just join our community, Discord link is in the description below. But other than that, that's all I have, traders. Until the next video, have a good one.